Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another card tutorial. I couldn't leave my puppy lovers out, so I had to make a card that matched my crazy cat card, but this time with puppies. So as you can see here, I am flipping through the stamps and pointing out which ones that I wanted to use for this card. I did add a few extra, like the side table again and the lamp, but because I did a portrait card and had such a big sentiment, I didn't need all those pieces. So there's going to be a few stamps that I used that I didn't end up using in the end. I was really excited about this card because I played around with the puppy stamp a little bit and changed him into a border collie. I think he turned out so cute, and I based him off my brother-in-law's and his girlfriend's border collie. He's still a puppy. His name is Kobe. He is the cutest thing in the world. He's like a teddy bear. So this card will most definitely be going to them for Christmas. So I'm just stamping out all of my images here, adding my decorations to the tree. This time the tree is not tipped over. It will be standing up, but this puppy has made a whole bunch of chaos in another way. I just feel like cats would climb trees and puppies would sniff out their presents. So here I am getting all of my colours ready to colour in these little people. To be honest, I think I'm better at colouring critters than I am colouring little people. The shading always throws me off, and working with skin tones is just a whole other challenge. I am going to be adding some extra details to these little people and their PJs. For the girl, I'm going to be colouring her pyjamas red, and I'm going to be using my white jelly roll to add some dots to it. I think this is a really cute effect. And for the little guy here, I'm going to put him in green PJs and add some red dots. So last week I asked if your pets had ever destroyed or knocked over the tree or done anything else crazy like that, but this week I'd love to know if any of them have gone through the presents. My cat that we had growing up, she had a thing for curling ribbon. I'm pretty sure all cats do because my cats now do as well. I can't use this stuff on my presents because I always find them under the tree chewing off the ribbon. And if I don't catch them in time, they'll be throwing that up later, and it's terrible. So I would love to know, do your pets do this too? Have you ever had anyone go through the presents or rip paper? My cats sometimes sleep under my Christmas tree on the tree skirt, which is very cute, so long as they're not there to chew on the tree branches. I would also love to know, how is your Christmas card making going? I am yet to send mine out. I know it's getting late and that the postage everywhere is a nightmare, but I figured better late than never, and I'm not going to let that pile of Christmas cards sit in my house for another year. I've handmade so many, and I really want to get them out to probably everyone I know just so that they're sent and not going to waste. For my colouring today, I'm doing the same as always. A mix of Copic markers and alcohol markers, and just some very easy shading. I was really lucky when I made this card. I actually got to sit and do it from start to finish. With only a couple of minor interruptions, my daughter did wake up from one of those rare naps that she has, and so I set her up with some afternoon tea and I was able to finish this off. I rarely get a card done start to finish in one day. Some cards it takes me 3 or 4 days of like a few minutes here and there when I can sit down and do them. And I think that's why I really like this card, and it turned out so good because I had the idea in my head and I was able to do it all in one go. I'm not sure what my favourite part of this card is. It might be the puppy. I didn't show all of my colouring for him. I did use my phone to look up little Kobe for reference for his markings, but I think he turned out so cute, and I really like the sentiment too. So here I am adding all of my white details to my people and my other images. I didn't colour the couch the whole way through because I know it's going to be off the edge of the card and I'm going to be trimming it. It just shows how cheap I am when it comes to using my Copic markers. Okay, so now on to my sentiment. I decided to get all the pieces ready before assembling my card today because I just did not know if I was going to get interrupted, and I figured if I had everything ready I could come back to it the next day and just assemble it. So here I am working on my wording. This says, "May your days be furry and bright." And I'm not embossing the word furry because I'm taking that word and making it bigger with some ABC dies. So here I am heat embossing the rest of this sentiment. I'm not cutting it out with a banner today because I'd have to play around with the little flag ends because I'm trimming it in the middle, so I figured just doing it straight would be fine. For my background, I used my large stitch rectangle die. I cut some cute pattern paper for my background, or wallpaper for this little house, and some brown cardstock for my flooring. And now I'm going to start assembling all my images. I really wanted this card to be portrait. I just had a really good feeling about the idea I had in my head of the layout, but in order to do so I had to have some of my images hanging off the edges. But I actually really like this look, especially when you trim it off. I don't know if you get the same feeling, but when I trim off those excess pieces, I just feel like the front of the card looks so neat and well put together. I'm not sure what it is about it, but you'll see it soon. So I'm setting up my little people on the couch together. They're all snuggled up and they're going to be reading a book. They must have been very distracted by the contents of this book because when they looked up, they saw what the puppy had done. Have to add a Santa hat from my Bah Humbug stamp set. I just am so surprised with how much I have used that set since I bought it. It's got the cutest accessories and they all seem very relevant to the Christmas cards I've been making. This little puppy and the presents are raised up with foam squares for a bit more dimension. And as you can see, I've got one foam square on the back of this, and I'm going to be putting some glue on the other part of the back of it so that it is nice and even with the puppy and it looks like he's holding it. For the last part of my sentiment today, I cut the word furry from my Coles ABC dies. I only own 2 sets of ABC dies. I would like a really big one. I've seen some cute ones that Lawn Fawn has, but so far I've only got Coles and Oliver's stitched, and they're so much fun to play with. I feel like this one matches the font really well for the stamped part of the sentiment. I've cut these letters from some black cardstock and some red sparkly cardstock. I think this is a Cricut brand cardstock. And I'm just layering them so that it gives these letters a little bit of a shadow. I haven't stuck them down yet, but I did put them into place so that I could decide where I wanted to stick the embossed parts of my sentiment. And I'm already loving this. May your days be furry and bright. I feel like it is just so cute and just works perfectly for a card for pet lovers. So now I've got my foam squares on the back of these letters. I'm going to be arranging them, not pushing them down immediately because I knew that I'd want to rearrange them. Once I was happy with the placement, I then pushed them down. I know it's not straight and neat, but I feel like it matches the card perfectly. And there we go. Once those pieces are trimmed off, there's just something nice about the way the scene looks. To add to the chaos that this little puppy has created, I've got some tiny pieces of white tissue paper that I've cut up and then rip up again because it was too big, and I'm just gently scrunching them, unfolding them a little, and then placing them around the puppy. I love the texture this gives this card. I'm surprised I haven't thought to do something like this in the past already, but there's no time like the present to start. I'm also going to be adding this around the presents to fill in some more of the scene. I'm just adding some tiny dots of PVA glue behind the tissue paper to help it stick into its scrunchy little plays. I've also got a few of these other little stamped images that I got from the Plan On It travel stamp set. I think that's the one it is. A holiday, vacation it might be. And I'm just going to be sticking them around like the puppy has gone through all of the presents before finding his little bone. I should have done this earlier, much earlier, and I usually remember to, but today I think I was just a little bit excited to get this scene done. So now I'm adding my double-sided tape to the back of my card front. Very gently, trying not to push too much as I don't want to ruin all of that dimension on the front. For one final touch to this card front, I had to add the shocked faces. I did it for the cat card. There was no way I was skipping out on it this time. I've just grabbed a black pen to colour in their mouths, and then they're going to look super creepy for a moment with their PVA dot eyes. And then I'm going to stick these tiny little wobbly eyes in place of their stamped eyes. It's now time to remove the backing to the double-sided tape and adhere this to my card base. And there we have it. This card is complete. I would love to know what you think of it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if you like this tutorial. It was so much fun to make and I can't wait to send it off. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.